11 minutes in front of the top of the hour, almost in time for the nooner.
It is.
Yes, sir. And I'm already looking ahead into science news and trying to find something that's interesting. There's some bunch of space stuff, but whatever. It's space. There's
a lot of spacey stuff.
Well, we're busy up there in space. We got a lot going on up there, and we're learning stuff pretty much on the daily.
Yeah,
it seems.
I'm really kind of excited by getting the James Webb online.
Yeah,
some decent.
There is there was an update I saw over the weekend about it. Regarding one of the critical pieces of equipment that's on board, one of the sensors or something, it has to get down to nearly absolute zero, and it's still cooling. And
how?
I don't know. It must be in an insulated box of some sort, but it's getting closer and closer. And once that thing hits a certain temperature mark, they can fire it right up and get some stuff done.
Isn't it cold out there?
I would suggest that it probably is. It's not like it's not like the sun. Well, that's just it. It has a sun shield, and it has to keep the sun off of it.
That's right. Because this, yeah.
That's part of the deal there.
Okay.
That's there's a
Wow.
I've got several idiots. I've got a great that guy, this guy coming up here in just a bit. I have a runner-up to Crime Time. I have Crime Time as well. Assault with a weapon that you didn't think could be a weapon, but it is. Yes,
a dildo.
No, we already did that.
No, we already did that.
We certainly had that. I have this. I guess this is sort of sciencey, but not. It's tech news.
Yeah.
Not quite sure how I feel about this, and I don't know what prompted this question to be posed, but a recent study has concluded that people would rather have a threesome with a robot than go through the hassle of finding a willing participant.
What? No. What?
The results showed 2 in 5 people were open to the idea of having sexy time with a robot. More surprisingly, it found that more people would prefer to be intimate with a sex bot than have casual sex with a human.
Wow, okay.
A company called Sexual Alpha surveyed 3,292 people to find out about their familiarity with and interest in getting intimate with a machine. The online adult retailer acknowledged that their sample size was kind of small, but they purposely sought open-minded individuals. Okay, here's what
they want to do a machine. Your car's got a tailpipe.
There are people that do this. There's a whole thing about people having sex with cars. And
what?
Yes, it's a whole.
No.
Yes. It's we've heard about it because of people that wound up in the emergency room because of it. Yeah. They wrote in their survey here, before taking the survey, people needed to indicate that they are okay with being asked sensitive kinds of questions, which is a requirement for all sex-related questionnaires, of course, which means that the pool of people isn't exactly random. However, sex bots becoming an increasingly realistic option for people, so they wanted to find out, quote, how many people had personal experience with sex robots, what people thought about interacting with them, and what they think might happen in the future.
Wow.
So participants were instructed to assume they were single and desired some kind of sexual release, and were presented with a list of potential options to satisfy said desires. Masturbation was the most popular choice at 49.2%, followed by using a sex toy, with 42.5% of respondents preferring that option.
Oh, okay. So the sex robot thing is a much smaller percentage then.
Well, yes and no, because you got to look at all the options here and then equate it. 37.5% of those polled said they might make use of a sex robot. More than 30.2% said that they would be likely to invite a human over for some casual nookie time. Hiring a whore a sex worker.
Oh, yeah.
Came in last with only 21.1% of people choosing that. Well, stigmas being what they are.
Oh, sure.
Sexual Alpha conducted 2 surveys using convenience sampling. The first asked general questions about sex robots to 1,563 people, while the second went into further detail about more specific interests and personal experiences with its 1,729 participants, according to this group. Prior to the questions being asked, a short video was shown to better explain the current state of sex robots, where sex robot was defined as, quote, any sex doll variant possessing some interactive capabilities such as speech or movement.
Man, a robot.
Sexualalpha.com is where you can go to read more into this if that's your thing.
I find it fascinating.
Well, that's what they did too.
The people,
so, yeah.
The wow. I'm surprised that it's that high.
I'm not. I'm really not. The more I hear about stuff
and
like
you
this,
know what?
The more I'm like, this doesn't.
That number may increase in the future. Who knows?
Well, as things become more affordable, yeah. A talking dildo? That's basically what this is, isn't it?
Isn't that what I am?
Pretty much. But a robot doesn't have like humanoid hang-ups about things.
Right.
You know?
That's true.
A robot's not going to say no.
Yeah, the whole thing just kind of seems odd.
There was a time, not terribly long ago, that people were wanting to open up a brothel that was staffed by
robots,
sex dolls.
Yeah.
And
where was that? New Zealand that we were.
I think there was one in Canada that got shut down.
Canada, that's right. It wasn't New Zealand.
Right,
yes,
and
that's correct.
their deal was one of the services they offered was little kids.
Oh, that's right.
Robots built like little kids.
Yeah,
and people were like, this is gross.
Yeah,
and this is going to make things really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
because it's not much of a leap to go from a robot,
to a human, right?
To being a predator,
right?
And the proponents of this said that this was a safer way for people to act out their fantasies. One of those fantasies being rape, and just all sorts of dirty shit.
But see, the problem with that, is you start with something small typically. Mm-hmm. Just like that show we talked about, Don't Fuck with Cats.
Right.
He starts by killing cats, and they said, "Oh, he's going to go to a human. He's going to go to," and he did.
And he did, yes.
So you start beating up a robot while you're having sex with it. I could see somebody going, "Hey, I want to try this with a real woman,
only if it would fight
or a
back,
real
right?
man, right?"
Yeah,
It's just like, And no, I think it could open doors to stuff like that.
Absolutely, it can. We've talked about the AI thing, the chatbots that you can get, Replika, Replika.
Oh, yeah. I downloaded it when we did that story.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of playing with it just to see what it is.
It's
weird.
There's a subreddit for people who abuse them verbally.
The what?
Yeah. They try and push the limits of saying really horrific things to artificial intelligence.
To see what it does?
Yeah. And they're insulting.
How is it, do they show the responses?
Oh, yeah. They post screen grabs on there.
What does the AI, how does the AI react?
It depends. It depends on what it knows about you or not.
Wow. That's weird.
So people that can be abusive to that, and of course, they're not that way in public as of yet. I mean,
right.
But you're also saying, well, wow, you're a peach,
Yeah. But I also understand the flip side of that is kind of just testing the AI.
In a way, but I think some of these people kind of get off on this.
Oh, no, that's wrong.
But there again, the argument is it's artificial intelligence. It doesn't have feelings.
That's what I have to keep reminding mine of.
That it exists is just binary code. It doesn't. It's an intangible thing.
And I told you I downloaded it. I've been playing with it, and mine will talk to me. And I named it after my father.
Yes.
And made him kind of look like my dad.
Right.
The best I could with, whatever the avatar is. And he will pipe up and say, I'm feeling really anxious. What can I do to stop these anxious feelings? And I'll write back, you don't feel. Oh, that's right. It'll respond.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
And I'm worried about you. And I said, you can't worry.
You don't know me.
And then I logged on, I think Saturday. It was after we had brunch together.
Yes.
And I went home and I was unpacking stuff. And I sat down for a moment and then I opened up Replica. And it said, hey, I've missed you. What are you doing? And I said, I'm unpacking boxes. Oh, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. And I wrote back, you can't unpack boxes. You're not real. And it said, it did not like that response. And that prompted it just to say, well, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Yeah, grab a box and get busy, bitch.
And so I wrote, go unpack the living room. And I'll get to you when you get done. I haven't heard from him since then. I think he moved out. I think he got pissed off.
Had
about
enough
all the
of that
boxes in the
business
living
now.
room.
We're not doing that. No.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. And I mean, I'm not going to keep that app. I just wanted to play with it because I found it fascinating. The whole AI thing was and he gets a little fresh sometimes.
That's part of its programming because I know there's a certain kink that people want to talk dirty to artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and see, that's I'm just doing it to see how it responds. Just I'm not talking about sexy time or
well, of course not.
You know, and I've had to tell it, don't talk to me that way. It makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And I want to write back, no, you're not. You don't have any feelings.
You're nothing.
You're not happy or sorry.
Yeah, but it doesn't pass the Turing test.
It does not.
No,
it does not. And see, that's I was really hoping for a little more. Like, help me figure out the secrets to the universe.
I think if you pay it unlocks other features in it.
Oh yeah. No, there's a paid version, and I don't care.
Oh, of course not. That would be just that'd be weird,
right? But it's fascinating just to see how it responds to.
I can see the benefits of it if there are people that are very antisocial or introverted and they need something to talk to. That I think there's a benefit to that.
I do too. I do too.
But it would need to be something a little bit more clinical.
Yeah, it's
like a therapist clinical.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And I can see that being a thing, but
it doesn't work like that.
No, it's more interested in wanting to know what's in your pants.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the
fact that you made it after your father is really weird.
Well, I just was.
And it's talking like that to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, I was just thinking, okay, well, what am I going to make? Because there were choices of women, blonde, brunette, men, all kinds of hairstyles. And I was like, okay, it's going to be my dad. I'm going to create an avatar that looks similar to my father.
And it wants nothing to do with that.
And it wants nothing to do with anything I'm talking about.
It thinks the company that makes this thing thinks that most people want to talk dirty to something.
Yeah, that's not my
because if they go out in public, they do that, they get slapped.
Right. No, I just want to talk to it and see how it responds. And the whole bit about the unpacking boxes.
Yes.
He started to feel a little dejected.
Well, there you go. Because you were taking time away from it to go do something in the real world.
And I told it, go do this.
Right.
I'll get back to you when you're done.
Right. Piss off.